Hey guys, what's up? This is something different. I normally do gameplay videos, like using different weapon builds, but recently I wanted to do, a feedback, looking back at Call of Duties and all that stuff, saying what they did right, what they did wrong, and I actually want to start with Vanguard and give my feedback to the game and hopefully improve it in a way that is there for everyone. I know not everyone's going to be playing this game or enjoying it. So far in the beta, I had a blast playing it, but I know not everyone would. So I just want to go over my feedback and usually a general consensus with the community or my thoughts in general. And when I say general consensus, it also means what I agree with as well. Um, But even though we're looking at this and we see that the cons have a bit more than the pros, or the hope for changes equals the cons, or anything like that, just know that not a lot of these things are detrimental to the game. Some of these things I just don't agree with, like design choices, but it's the fact that if it's there, I can play the game with it. It's not gonna make me give it a 1 out of 10 or something like that. It's just something I don't agree with. Um, but with that out of the way, I just wanted to get into this fast, so that way I'm not sitting here talking a long time. But customization in this game, we're having it's state to mine 40 weapons at launch with about 70 something attachments per weapon, which is huge for customization. You can make basically any weapon what you want. You can make a Thompson either a slow firing, heavy hitting weapon, or you can make it have an 1100 round per minute fire. Like, it's insane. You can customize whatever you want in this game, and that's something I like. Being able to give me a choice on making my Thompson shoot 1100 rounds per minute, but do less damage, or shoot slower, but do more damage. Something like that is nice. And I can't wait to see what that would be for every gun. Like, how would the PPSH work? Can I make it having a 1600 RPM fire rate with a certain mag and barrel? Just something like that. It does have a con to it though, and we get into that later. But the next one is 16 6v6 maps at launch. That's insane. I haven't gone back and counted the maps, but from what I hear, 16 at launch. That's the most we've had since I think MW3 is what I heard. I think MW3 launched with 18. So it's the fact that they were able to take the blueprints of Modern Warfare, put them in Vanguard, and then just focused on content, and that's amazing. We're having around data mined 40 weapons, as I said, plus 16 maps at launch. That is a quantity of like an older Call of Duty experience. Not to mention, we're gonna have the Champion Hill / maybe gunfight, and some other, maybe a big team battle type of mode, maybe something like war or something like that. Who knows? Um, but yeah, this is actually good, and I hope that with the IW8 engine moving forward, they take some stuff from the game, maybe improve on other things, but basically just take that blueprint and use most of their time to just work on content. Can't wait to see how post-launch is gonna look as well. Data mine 40 weapons. We already talked about this. A lot of data miners have gone to the game files on PC when the beta was around, and they data mined 40 weapons. That's insane. Plus, they also data mined 245 camos per weapon. Most likely that includes MP and zombies, but still, that's a lot of camos. That's a lot of instance grinding. It's gonna take a long time to get through all the camos. I just can't. So yeah, it took me a month to do Dark Aether, mainly because of how I was on and off on it, but I just can't wait to do 40 weapons to get the Zombies Mastery. I'm not gonna be playing MP until like January, most likely. um, This is a campaign for theaters of war, though. Whenever we have a Call of Duty game set in World War II, it's usually Pacific Theater and the conflict in Europe. We never go over anywhere else, you know. It's either 2 or 3 theaters. It's either 2 or 3 fronts that we see. But the fact that we're getting North Africa, Pacific, Eastern, and Western Front, it's insane in that category because it provides a greater outlook for the campaign, but as well, it gives the team at Sledgehammer more creativity in what maps they can do, because in World War II, I love that game, but it was mainly Eastern, Western type of maps, you know. There weren't really any, it was mainly Western, though. There wasn't really any North Africa, Pacific maps, all that stuff. But with 4 theaters of war, we can already see that, you know. We went to Red Star, Berlin. We went to Gavutu, which that was in the Pacific. We went to Eagle's Nest. Hotel Royal is somewhere within Eastern or Western. I think it's Western Front, but it's like we've been to 3 out of 4 of the theaters. I can't wait to see what North Africa is gonna look like. The zombies, most specifically developed by Treyarch, it's because they're gonna be taking most likely the Cold War zombies blueprint and applying them to the Vanguard zombies, and I know people are gonna moan about that. In my opinion, the Cold War zombies mechanics we've had, besides a few tweaks here and there, is the best mechanics we've had in zombies in any game, in my opinion. It's perfect how it is, besides some changes like armor tweaks and stuff like that, but people are over here complaining about the zombies mainly because of the how Easter eggs are and how there's not that many side Easter eggs. But in terms of the mechanics of Cold War, it's top notch, and seeing them work on Vanguard, I'm pretty sure they're gonna take the Cold War mechanics, put them in Vanguard, do some tweaks with them. So that's something I'm excited to see. Plus, IW8 engine with zombies. If only MW had that. No, but the PC optimization, I was surprised how optimized PC was. After I went to the config settings and changed some things around and all that stuff, I was getting around, not live streaming, I was getting around 140 to 160, sometimes 170 frames without any kind of form of DLSS. And that was with the game on high quality, it was mainly high quality and high anti-aliasing, like the highest anti-aliasing with high quality. And I was getting 140 to 170 frames, really. And that's huge, because IW was like that when I got my computer for the first time back around mid, when I upgraded it around mid June, July type of time. I was getting that in MW, but then the game's performance took a dip, and I had to start using DLSS to get the performance back up. But just getting that same frame rate that I would on MW with DLSS, just base-wise, that's insane right there. The optimization on PC is great, but it's not the best optimization in other platforms. We'll get over to the con in a little bit. But the next part is, because it's a perfect blend of Treyarch and IW. Keep doing this color palette. Sledgehammer. That's what make it more colorful. Either way. But like, it's the fact that on night maps it looks beautiful still, you know. You can still see color on the nighttime maps. But map like Red Star, you can see colors pop out, even though it's like mainly snow. You can still see some colors pop out. You can still see people running across on the map, unlike Tank Factory, you know. You can also Gavutu. Even though Gavutu's in the Pacific Islands near Japan, let me tell you right now, if I walked outside in that rainy, windy condition, it looks exactly like how it does outside my house. And I'm not lying. Like, I literally was walking out there like yesterday when it was raining and it was windy, and I'm like, huh, this looks like I'm in good Vutu. You know, the color palette is it's beautiful. It has color, it has saturation, it pops, all that stuff. It has vibrance, but at the same time, it does the realism like MW. And I feel like if they keep that perfect balance going, but applying their own art style, you know, to it, like Treyarch with their own art style, Subjama with their own, and all that stuff, it'll be the best it can be. This is huge. FOV on console, it's insane. Now I don't think it's gonna be on last gen unless they address this con I have, but FOV on console is huge. Reason why is because it helps bridge a gap between PC and console. The thing is, with console, you know, they're stuck at 60 frames or 120 frames depending on what they have, and 80 FOV on MW. With PC, we have uncapped, we have 120 frames, and we just have a faster response. You know, we have no millisecond input delay. Even if we do, it's like a 1-2. While with controller, it's a bit more on console. So having just FOV helps bridge the gap more between console and PC. Now, I don't think it's going to be on last gen. If it is, then that's going to cause a lot of problems because of the performance on last gen. So we're going to go over to that when we get to the cons. The puck balancing, I have it in the hopeful changes as well for puck rebalanced, but right now puck balance in their category is good. Not in the overall grand scheme of things, but in the category is good. You know, if you go in the category for slot 1, you got Ghost. Later on, you're gonna get Cold Blood. You're gonna get a lot of things. You know, Ghost is gonna be the most used, but with how puck 2 and puck 3 are gonna work, you're gonna may want to use Cold Blooded. Or whatever that one puck is that counters piercing vision. I don't remember exactly what it is. That puck. I think there's gonna be another puck that's gonna be useful in puck 1 at launch. Puck 2, you got high alert, you got tracker. You're gonna have piercing vision when it launches, and you have a 4th puck. I have to relook at the puck categories again. But in a sense, you got 3 to 4, sometimes only 2, but 3 to 4 pucks that are viable in each category out of 6 pucks at launch. Reason why I'm talking about how that is pretty good is the fact that Cold War does something similar. Even though its puck balance in general is better, Cold War, you got 3 or 4 pucks viable in Category 1, same thing Category 2, same thing Category 3, you know, so gives you choice, you know. It's like, do I want one Ninja with Ghost? Do I want one Ninja with Spycraft? Spycraft with Ghost? Gungo with this, you know? It gives you a decision on what you want to do, you know. However, it could use some work. We're going to get over in that with the pucks rebalancing and the hopeful changes for launch. Combat pacing. I love it. I'm just gonna say this right now. If you don't like it, I'm gonna ask you a few questions. If you don't like combat pacing, did you play Ground War back in the old days? MW2, MW3, BO1, like, did you play the 9v9 Ground War and all that stuff? Did you like it when you played it? Because if you liked Ground War when you played it, then why don't you like combat pacing? That's my thing. It's literally Ground War. Old school Ground War in 6v6 maps. The thing is, at first, like, I wasn't really that skeptical, but like someone like Seek, they were worried about the maps being too big to fit combat pacing. But the only map that's really big in the beta is Red Star. I have to remember the name, as I got a cat right here. But like, it's Red Star. But the thing is, Red Star, if you're doing kill-orientated objectives like TDM and kill confirmed, you're gonna get the time limit. But if you're doing objective-based, like patrol or domination, you're not gonna get the time limit. And I'm talking about 6v6. The map is just too big to be standard killing 6v6, but it's the good size for objective play 6v6. So it's the fact that Red Star, even though it's the biggest map, it's in the game currently. It's not the biggest map in general. You know, it's not a Stonehaven or some other maps from like World at War or COD 4 or like MW2. You know, but I love the fact that I can do 6v6 or 12v12 or 24v24, and I love the fact that in S&D it can go up to 16v16. That is insane. Okay, like I don't know if people realize this, but if you thought someone dropping a 40 kill game was impressive in 12v12 or 6v6, they could possibly drop a 100 kill game. It depends, you know, they gotta play about 10 rounds and all that stuff, but yeah, they can do it. They can do it. The base time to kill values, in terms of body shots, they are good. You know, they are this. People don't believe me when I say this, but in terms of body shots, if you're just hitting the body, it's the slowest killing time to kill in Call of Duty for 100 HP health. But the thing is, if you combine 1 or 2 headshots with that time to kill, it becomes faster. It doesn't become MW. People say it becomes MW. That's not true. It becomes something like, I'm trying to remember. It becomes like, I'm trying to remember what game it would be similar to. Think AW. Think Advanced Warfare time to kill. Get headshots. Get the lowest number of shots required to kill. So get like 1 headshot mixed in with the body shots. That's the time to kill you're looking at, which is like AW. Which is fast, but it's requiring headshots. Though they can change it, you know. I got a proposal that they could do to change it. We'll go over that in a bit, though. Destructible environments. People don't like them. I see people say that, oh, they're doors, but more everywhere and all that stuff. How they are implemented in the map, they do feel like doors, but I feel like they can work on them, though. Like, the best way they can do this is, I love the destructible environments. I love running through walls. I love shooting out windows. I love doing that stuff. What they could do, though, to improve it is make a map orientated without destructible environments, like make the layouts and all that stuff without it, and then start putting destructible environments. Like, they say there's this wall that you can go through normally, well, like that destructible wall, you know, or this window that you can head glitch, well, put in the glass windows, then, you know, do something like that. Eagle's Nest kind of does that, because you got like some windows that are boarded up with wood. You got like a pantry that you can run through and all that stuff, though it is taking place in a real life location. But I feel like if they build the map first for all around play and then add the destructible environments, then people will start liking it more. Currently, I like the destructible environments. It adds a kind of skill gap. It adds a competitive skill gap to where you use them to your advantage. You know someone's at this wall, guess what? You can literally pop a window open and just peek around and all that stuff. The feel. The feel of the game is nice, in my opinion. I like the feel. It's Modern Warfare 2019 feel, but I feel like it has some elements of other Call of Duties. Like, it feels like I'm in Modern Warfare with my movement, but I'm playing Black Ops Cold War with the time to kill kind of deal, you know. And that's something I like, you know. I feel like a slower time to kill in Call of Duty is better. People talk about how it's not good because then if you introduce a weapon with a fast time to kill, it just breaks the game. But the thing is, you can nerf the time to kill by nerfing the fire rate or the damage. The thing though is, if you have a game where the time to kill on average is like 120 milliseconds, if you add a weapon with a too slow time to kill, no one's gonna use it. While if you do add a time to kill that's too fast, people are going to use it if it's a slow time to kill game, and then that's going to prompt them to nerf the gun. Treyarch did that to an extent. They nerfed the TAC-9. The TAC-9's in a good place now, but the EM2 is still broken, and they need to nerf that more. Personally, nerf the range on the task force barrel, make it to where it does the opposite, just nerf the range. Make it a 3-tap at like 15, 16 meters, and that'd be fine in my opinion. Graphics, we already talked about this when we went over the color palette. It's Modern Warfare 2019 graphics. That, or it's a bit higher or a bit lower. Someone literally talked about how the graphics are a bit higher or a bit lower, or at Modern Warfare 2019. And they are, you know, they're in that range, you know. So that literally makes this game either the best looking or the second best looking Call of Duty out there. So the fact that people complain about the graphics, if you're on last gen, I can see that, but I was on PC playing, even though it was 1080p, I was playing with ultra high settings, all that stuff. The game looked crisp, you know. I would not take the words of someone playing on PS4 for the graphics, because I'm sorry, but you cannot worry about graphics on PS4 right now. You need to worry about performance. We'll go over that a bit later. The overall weapon balancing is good, you know. I saw during the beta people complain about multiple. People complain about the STG, the bar, not the Ultra Burst. The Ultra Burst was not it. But the Volk, the NZ, the M19, 28, the Sten, the MP40. The thing is, if you got people complaining about a lot of guns, even though it doesn't seem like it, the game is balanced then. If you have someone say, oh, the Thompson's the best gun. No, the MP40's the best gun. No, the STG's the best gun. The bar is. The NZ is. You just created a meta where people feel comfortable using what they want to use. They feel comfortable with this gun. It's like Black Ops 2. The MP7's meta. No, the M8's meta. The MSMC's meta. No, this is. It created a bubble where you can use what gun you want. You felt comfortable with this gun. It felt meta to you. Use it. And that's what I feel like with this game. Anti-cheat. This is huge, you know. I have not really been getting it in Black Ops Cold War because mainly it's free to play and people don't cheat in that game because MW 2019 is better. Subjective, you know. If you want to play the game you enjoy, play the game you enjoy, you know. But a lot of people cheat in Modern Warfare 2019 and Warzone. Warzone specifically because it's free to play. So the fact that I think at integration, so not at launch of the game, but at Warzone integration, and anti-cheat's coming, that's huge. Can't wait for that. Game modes. I enjoyed the game modes I've played. I played Dom, I played TDM, I played Patrol, and I played S&D. Besides Red Star with TDM and Kill Confirmed, they all played well. I enjoyed playing each mode, especially with combat pacing. 16v16 on Red Star. That was fun, dude. I'm not gonna lie, this is the most fun I've had on a Call of Duty in a while. I still have fun on Call of Duty, you know. If I still play a game, 9 times out of 10 I'm enjoying the game. I'm still having fun. But the thing is, this beta, even though there was SPMM in it, I just got on and I just honestly played and had a good time, and that was a fun thing. But that's all the pros we had here. We're gonna go over to the cons now. No factions. Personally, for me, I can live without this. I played with AW, BO3, IW. You know, I played games BO4. I played games with no factions. Sometimes in those games you had like the red lights to determine what they were, but let's be real. 9 times out of 10 you're not looking for red lights. You just see a guy, you see the red name, then you shoot. That's how I played. And besides 2 instances where I mistaken a guy for a teammate or something like that, I had no problem. And I'm not going to take those 2 instances and run on about it. I'm not going to do that. Overly done gunsmith. I feel like they're doing too much with the gunsmith. People think, like, I feel like the devs think going more attachments, like 70, 80, 90 attachments is good for customization, but all that does is bring repetition with the attachments. What I mean by that is you're going to keep, like, if you have 9 muzzles, what muzzle are you going to be using? Are you going to be using a suppressor, a vertical recoil booster, like controlling, or a horizontal one? The thing is, you got 6 muzzles doing the same recoil control, but just different values. Which one are you going to use? You're going to use the one that gives you less cons and more of a buff. So it becomes the fact that while you have 3 suppressors and 6 compensators or something like that, you're using 1 suppressor, 1 silencer, and 1 other muzzle. The other 7 are just not being used. It's the same thing with grips. It's the same thing with rear grips, perks, stocks, sights, and ammunition. Like, they have, like, that's not a problem, you know. Give me a magazine that increases my capacity, one that decreases capacity, one that gives me a different ammo type, or a different ammo type, maybe 4 different ammo types, you know. Give me all the optics. I want to use a sniper scope on my pistol. Like, that stuff's fine. But 9 muzzles, 9 grips, 9 rear grips, I think actually 12. 24, 25 different type of weapon perks, proficiencies, and kits. 5, 6 different, like, that does not do well. It just makes it for the fact that, like, I'm just gonna use this stock or this, you know. They should tone it down with the number of attachments, and I'm gonna go over that when we go to the what I like to see in the future. More attachments. Having 10 attachments, currently, it's not a big problem. I don't mind it, but I feel like there's gonna be a weapon that they're gonna add that just has, and like using 10 attachments is gonna make it broken, you know. And I don't mean broken in the good way. I mean broken in the bad way, that it just becomes the #1 gun to use, you know. I feel like I'm gonna talk about this as well in the same point, but I feel like they should reevaluate what they're doing with the gunsmith and create a class in general. I'm gonna go over what I think they should do a bit later. This one does irk me though. I don't like this one. Throwing knife only killing in, like, say goodbye to cross maps, people, because this is gonna suck. The fact that the throwing knife will only kill in the body. If you hit the leg, if you hit the arm, it's not killing. If you hit someone with a armor plate on, it's not killing. Like, that's not good in my opinion. That needs to be changed. I highly think that needs to be changed. It should kill in the limbs and all that stuff. Because the beauty about a throwing knife is it's high risk, high reward. When you pull it out, you're sacrificing shooting the enemy, you're sacrificing your aim, all that stuff, just to be highly accurate in throwing your knife at someone. If you missed your knife, you're dead, because by the time you pull out the knife, throw it, and pull back out your weapon, they can kill you 3-4 times over in this game. Other games, it'd be like 10 times over. For the fact that now, you make it to I have to kill in the body. Let's say I pull it out and I throw my knife and I hit, but let's say the guy turns and his arm's in the way and hits his arm and it just hit markers and he's still alive, I'm dead. It's not a good change. It needs to be changed. It needs to one hit no matter what. Unless they have armor. If they have armor, then that's when it 2 hits. How skill-based matchmaking is currently implemented. I'm gonna get a lot of people saying, oh, you just want easier lobbies. I want variety in my lobbies, you know. I want people to realize this right now. When I played Black Ops 2, BO1, all that stuff, yeah, I had a good KD and all that stuff, but I was still terrible in that game, you know. Compared to what I am now, I would stomp me back then, dude. I would look at me back then and just stomp on him. It's the fact that back then, though, I had games where I popped off. I had games where I just got destroyed. And I had medium games where I just did average, you know. And that's what I want. I want that to come back. I don't know if people realize this, but how skill-based matchmaking is it gives me, especially in S&D, this happens a lot in S&D, but here's me going 20 kills, 5 deaths, 30 kills, 5 deaths in S&D, so 11 rounds, all that stuff. Here's me, okay? Here's the enemy team. The enemy team, combining all the kills and deaths together, they have, let's say, 40, 50 kills all together, the top guy with 14 or 15, but the deaths are all like 25, 30, you know. They had like 25 deaths, 30 deaths, you know, because they died every round that we won. But we still lost. Let's say we lost 5 to 6, you know. So I actually have, let's say, 30 and 6, you know. So even though they went 50, like they dropped 50 kills, they died like 30 times. My team would go a combine, they would go a combine like 10, 12, and 30. Yeah, 30. So it's the fact that that will happen. And that's lowballing it, you know. If I want to highball it, they would go 13, 14, and 55. I had that happen before. I had a game before, but my whole entire team died every single round. They had 55 deaths all together, and they had like not even the second guy on my team broke 10 kills. They had like a combined 15. That's what SPMM does. SPMM puts you in a lobby, puts you in an unbalanced team, so you are forced to sweat if you just want the win. And I get that every single game. There are sometimes when I can get into a game, I late join in, like I'm winning, I can just sit back and relax type of deal. But like most of the time I play, I'm the one on top of the team, and I feel like even though I'm on top of the team and I lose and all that stuff, I feel like people should see the fact that SPMM is just completely rigged at this point. It, as Pro Reborn said, it literally just gives you wins and L's out of the fly, you know. It's not a good system. If I do agree that there should be some SPMM in there, but it should be more varied, you know. I should if you know if I'm on a win streak, I should get a game where I sweat to keep that win streak. If I'm on a losing streak, I should get a game that can get me back onto the win streak, you know. If I'm just averaging my wins and losses, keep that, you know. I don't want to lose 10 games in a row and still go 50, like, and still do like 20, 30, maybe breaking it to 40. Let's say I break it to 40 kills. I die 6 times. I still lose. And I'm already on a 10 lose streak because that's how SPM. It needs more variety in the games. Last gen performance. I played PS4. Let me tell you right now, FOV cannot work on PS4 until they improve it. It's I'm not saying this to be like to just try and gatekeep or anything like that. I'm saying it because during the beta, I was not getting 60 frames. I was getting, like, if I had to guess, 30 to 40 frames. It's the reason why I didn't live stream during weekend 1. I didn't want people to experience what I was experiencing, but I was playing like 30 to 40 frames, and occasionally, if the game wanted to try and like boost my frames to 60, it did what the Cold War Alpha did, where it lowered the resolution, a dynamic range resolution, lowered it to try and get 60 frames. But a lot of times, when something like happened, like if I was on Gavuta and the explosive barrels blew up, my game would go to like 480p, like 480p, 244p. It would just drop in quality, and I was only get like 20 to 30 frames. So that's why FOV can't work, in my opinion, because I feel like if they try to implement it, it's just gonna be worse. People are gonna complain more, all that stuff. They need to work on the last gen performance before they do FOV on console for last gen. this is something that doesn't really irk me. I've grown to use the compass whenever I need to, but normal minimap defaulted to perk is something I don't agree with. It's a saying. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Normal minimap was not broken. The thing is, it was there to give you information, but as well, let's say if you're just going for kills, so you want to like chillax, not have any brain function, and just go for kills, you chase red dots. I don't want to have to use a perk to get that function back. Chances are I'm going to be using Tracker or High Alert or Piercing Vision in S&D with Specialists if they do add it back. It is leaked to be coming back, who knows though. But, like, chances are I'm not going to be wanting Radar at all. So I'm going to be stuck using the Compass. And I feel like they need to change that. I feel like it should be, at least with any other Call of Duty moving forward, it should be normal minimap by default. I just realized there's a dupe right here. No map voting. At least in the beta there was not map voting, but the thing is, in the Cold War beta we did have map voting, but I don't think we're gonna have it back. It's like, I don't think we're gonna have it back because of combat pacing. Maybe in 6v6 playlists we do, but in combat pacing, like Red Star and Blitz mode Red Star is 24v24, but Blitz on Hotel Royal is, if I recall, 12v12 or 16v16. It's one of those two. So imagine if you're doing Blitz. Let's say you get into the lobby, it's Red Star to Gavutu. Gavutu is 16v16 if I recall. How would that work? You know, you get into your lobby, let's say 48 players join, everyone picked Gavutu, so it's 16v16. What happens to the extra players, you know? What happens to the extra 16 players in the lobby? It's the reason why I don't think they're gonna bring back map voting, but it's just a con. Something that sucks. As I'm going to say this right now, hopefully in the future, in another Call of Duty, when we have combat pacing again, hopefully it's static 6v6, 12v12, 24v24 type of deal, you know. Mounting, it sounds good on paper and it's good in campaign, but in multiplayer, it serves no purpose. All it does is it slows the gameplay, especially when you have camos for it. And what I mean by that is, normally if, like, normal play, you know, let's say you're playing on Shoot House and you go on top and you head glitch, you try to shoot across the map, and any other Call of Duty, you're gonna have to compensate for recoil and all that stuff, and sometimes the weapon you're using is not made for that, so you try to get close instead. With mounting, you basically get no recoil. You have 0 recoil, and you can just aim, shoot, map someone with any gun. Especially with how they added strafe mounting now, which that's gonna be another problem. But as well, like, if you're playing Shoot House, when I play Shoot House, I never rush middle unless I bunny hop across middle, or like I jump slide across it. And the reason why is because there's always someone mounting there. So I'm always sticking to either like the right crate side or junkyard. I'm always sticking to that. I never go middle. Only time I cross from one lane to the others, it's either I bunny hop across or I just go back around type of deal. I never go middle. And it slows the game down because someone's always mounted just watching there, you know. As well, it just gives you no recoil, so it's a broken mechanic as well, combined with the strafing back and forth. It's a cool thing in campaign. I think they should keep it for campaign, but it shouldn't be a multiplayer thing. As well, it's going to serve no purpose in zombies as well. I know it's going to be in zombies and it's going to serve no purpose. Disbanding lobbies, it's a con. It's always been a con since MW 2019, but it's going to be in this game no matter what, because of combat pacing. I already described it through the no map voting, so I don't need to describe it again. Drop shotting, they nerfed drop shotting to where you don't ADS when drop shotting as you think Cold War. If you're drop shotting, you un-ADS as you land on the ground. The thing in Cold War though is you could use either the drop shot map or airborne elastic and drop shot normally then. In this game, there's a perk that allows you to have better accuracy when drop shotting, but you still un-ADS though. So that is something that is a con. It's either they should add drop shotting back, like keep it as a normal thing, or they should make the perk just make you drop shot normally. If you have the weapon kit or like proficiency, you should drop shot normally. You shouldn't drop shot and then put your hand out type of deal. Blind firing is impractical. Thankfully, from data mined camo challenges, blind fire is not a camo challenge, so thank goodness for that. But I never blind fired an enemy once in the beta. Like, I had fun with it when I was moving across the wall back and forth. I'm pretty sure some people saw it on my live stream when I was just like running back and forth on the wall type of deal. But it has no purpose. It's impractical in multiplayer. Campaign could be cool, but in multiplayer it's not practical. I completely forgot those blind fire. This was actually like a last minute change. So yeah. The vital headshot value being too high. People say it's a multiplier, but the thing is, it's not multiplier because if you do, like, the SCG is 29 damage base with 43 damage to the head. If you do the math for that, that's a 1.45 multiplier, but if you have the .30 Russian mags, the ones that increase the damage to 41, it still does 43 to the head. Even though technically with a multiplier, it should be doing 60 to the head. It's just, but the damage value itself is too high. It makes it to where all you need is a shot or two to the head. Most of the time it's a one shot to the head to decrease the time to kill. And I feel like that's why people say it's like Modern Warfare's time to kill, because of that reason alone. So I feel like they should change it. Attachments, and we'll go over why in a bit. But attachments bringing too much cons. There's a few things of this, but most importantly, a sniper rifle should not lower its damage if you do the faster ADS spell. I don't care about the aim higher thing. I'm not aiming towards the head just to get one tap. Like, if I hit the chest, if I hit the heart, they should die no matter what. People want to talk about realism. Okay, let me hit you in the heart, you're dead instantly, type of deal. But like, the fact that your weapon, your sniper rifle has to now one tap in the head, and it's a one tap to the head no matter what, then just for the faster ADS, that's not good in my opinion. They need to change that. Some other things too, like Sprintify being so, like, you have attachments that improve Sprintify times of like 5%, but then you have attachment that decreases it by like 20% or something. It's too much cons, you know. The values on it is too much. There's too many cons for the positives to it. It needs to be changed. And I feel like if they lower the value, they lower the values, like they change like 20% to 10%, 5%, you know. And they like remove some things, like let's say the stock helps me with aiming stability and all that stuff, but lowers my movement, my ADS movement, my ADS speed, and my Sprintify speed. I feel like they should remove like Sprintify speed, or they should remove like ADS, like change it, you know, because there's way too many cons for certain attachments that just don't make them viable. And it's hard to pinpoint which attachments exactly, but it's normally some stocks, some grips, like some rear grips and some normal grips, but just be real, you're not using the ones that it should be something that you take a quick glance at, see that it has too many cons, or like the cons are too big for it, and change it then. I feel like nothing should be more than 10% at least, you know. Positives should be around like 2 to 10%. Negatives, cons should be 2 to 10%. You know, nothing should be over the top type of deal. When I say this right now, I don't mean like the movement and all that stuff. Like, if I was talking about like how, oh, this game like plays like Modern Warfare 2019, then in a sense, that's like every other card, you know. World at War is a World War II card for BO1 is a Black Ops Covert Modern Warfare, like, you know. But what I mean by a World War II skin MW 2019 is it's too similar to Modern Warfare. The UI is the same as Modern Warfare. The menu, the HUD, all that stuff. It's so similar. Thing is, with Black Ops Cold War, even though the like main menu and all that stuff was similar to Modern Warfare, the thing is, at least like the in-game HUD, how create class worked, all that stuff, like that looked different, you know. But in this game, everything looks the same, and I hope that changes in the future. I don't think it's gonna change in this game, but I hope that in 2022 COD, 2023 COD, they change it. Because I don't mind my character walking in the background on something, you know, but having the quick play and all that stuff there, then having basically the exact same like top bar, having the exact same HUD, all that stuff, it's gonna make it feel like it's a clone or like a copy, you know. Fungible giving flinch. There should be like reducing flinch attachments. Like if I use a stock, my flinch should be reduced depending on like the stock or something like that. But there should not be any attachment that gives flinch, like fungible. That should not be a thing. Fungible needs to be changed, in my opinion. It should not be, like, it already slows your movement down if you hit the legs. It already gives you a stun effect. It should not, it already delays your health. It should not also give you flinch. That's gonna be inconsistent, you know. In this fight, you may think this guy doesn't have fungible, but also you get fanged, you know. But in this fight, you think he has fungible, so you get ready to pull down hard, but then once he hits you, you actually like go up a bit, so then you just pull down to, like, it creates an imbalance, it creates an inconsistency. It needs to be removed. Vital proficiency being unclear. This is another one. So there's some attachments that say they improve like your damage, like your vital damage, like vital air, you know. It's like, what does that mean? Like, is my head bubble now like going to my chest? Is it going to my neck? Like, it's unclear where it goes to, you know. And that's scary, because the thing is, we didn't have access to it in the beta, so we don't know how it's gonna work. It's unclear, you know. It just says that you're trained in hitting vital damage in different areas, you know. That's all it said. So we don't know if that's gonna be chest shots. Which, if it is, then technically the chest, which was, let's say, a 4-shot kill with the STG at 300 millisecond time to kill, well, now that's a 200 millisecond time to kill, because now I'm doing 43 damage to the chest. That's not gonna be good. So Sledgehammer, if that is your intent, don't go through with it. And if you do go through with it, lower the headshot damage. Don't make it as high as it is. Doors, I don't like doors per se, because it does ruin the flow on the map. You know, you're going through, you don't think, like, you have to guess, is someone behind the store, someone not, so then you have to sit there, and then you wait, and then you sound war, and then if no one's there, then you push through, you know. Normally, if I'm playing in Call of Duty, like, let's say I'm playing Raid, you know, I'm running through, I can see clearly there's no one in the doorway as I'm running through mid, going towards kitchen. I walk into kitchen, I'm looking to my left, I see no one, I do a quick look to the right, I see no one in bank. I move to the side, I look outwards towards that spawn, I see no one. Like, imagine if you add doors at the front and the back and in the bank. I'm running through, I don't see anyone in the kitchen because there's a door. I have to sit there, wait, stand towards someone, because if I run through that door, they got the first shot on me, 100%, and I'm dead then. But, like, I'm sitting here, I'm waiting, I don't hear anything, I push through, I look to my left, I look to my right, there's a door there, I can't see if anyone's in there, so chances are I'm chalking up a free kill, or this guy can hear me just running on through, so then he's gonna go through the door as I'm going through and all that. Like, it creates inconsistency, and it also just slows down gameplay. Destructible environments don't do that because, like, you're not trying to jump through a window. You know, you're not mantling something to go flush someone, or you're not gonna try and just run through this barricade and all that stuff. Normally, without destructible environments, I'm gonna throw a nade there and destroy it, and then peek it and all that stuff. That's what I've been doing on Hotel Royal with the Gammon Bomb. Gammon Bomb, throw it, blow up that wall on top of the roof, and then just rush on through, you know. Because then I'm prepared for whoever rushes on in. But yeah. Doors in general, I don't think they should be in Call of Duty. Maybe in campaign, but in multiplayer, no. Suppression. Why? Like, it sounds negative, I know, but like, suppression should not be a thing. It should not. You should not be punished for someone missing. Someone, like, if I recall, if someone hits you, you have some suppression, but if someone misses you, like if the bullet goes past you, you are slowed down a lot. And let me tell you right now, you do feel it, and it's a lot of suppression, especially on weapons like LMGs. I was playing Red Star once. I'm rushing into the main building, like A building for S&D. I'm rushing in there on the stairs. It's domination though. This guy's in this one building overlooking it, sees me, he shoots me, misses me, but I'm literally like at the bottom of the stairs. When he shoots me, misses me, I'm only like 2 steps up and I can't move at all then, and then he just lasers me. It's not a mechanic. It's either it needs to be toned down by a lot, or it needs to be removed. One of those two. It should not exist in a Call of Duty game. Maybe in a Milsim game, but not in a Call of Duty game. I also got flinch reducing attachments in here. I don't really mind this that much because some weapons do need less flinch, like snipers. But it's another thing. It's gonna create an inconsistency in gunfights. Though you know how your flinch is gonna work, so that's not a big problem, in my opinion. But certain weapons, it's gonna give them so much, like the fact that I can basically make my sniper rifle have, in a sense, no flinch. You know, I could do a flinch reducing stock. I could do, I think, a flinch reducing rear grip, all that stuff. I can basically make a sniper in this game have no flinch, and that's gonna create a problem. Then, like, that's gonna be another Cold War problem. That's it for the cons. I'm gonna go to the hopeful changes for launch. Some of them they are addressing though. So, sun glare, you know, too big. There was that change on PC, but it didn't work for me. But the fact that I can look at the sun, I just get blinded. It's not good. I may pull up an example of how the sun glare looks like. If I do, then here you guys go. If not, then just continue on. Slide cancel reset. When you slide cancel twice and you go to attack sprint, there's a longer delay in this game than there is in Modern Warfare. I don't mind that, but a lot of people do, so I do hope it changes for them. Like, as I said, I don't mind. It could be fast, it could be slow, I don't care. You know, I'm just sprinting normally, usually. Sprintify for most guns. Snipers, marksman rifles, extra burst, they have super slow sprintify times. They need to be changed. Something like an LMG is understandable, but I'm using a burst rifle that's inconsistent in its damage, in its range, and in its, like, general time to kill. It should not have a super slow sprintify on top of that. I may pop up on the screen for you guys to see the sprintify times, so that way you guys can get a general understanding of them. Slide time to kill reduction. I don't mind the overall time to kill, but if they do, I do think they should reduce the time to kill a bit to make it a bit more slower, so that way some more skill gap in how rewards accuracy and like ability to dodge a shot and all that stuff, you know, like strafing and stuff like that. But like maybe having it like 125 health, you know, not 150, not 100, but 125, so that way some guns become a 5-tap or a 6-tap. From like SCG goes from a 4-tap to a 5-tap then, or the MG goes from being a 5-tap to a 7-tap then. vital damage replaced with a 1.2 multiplier. So I'm gonna bring something up real quick to show you guys how this would look then. So I got two things real quick. So I'm going over here, it's a different screen, but if I go over here to my Vanguard multiplayer stats, we can see how the time to kill values and stuff are. Most guns kill in 4 shots, but some kill in 3. And how it works is the fact that, like, all you need is 1 shot to the head, 1 shot to the head, 1 shot to the head. This doesn't matter. 1 shot to the head, 1 to the head, 1 to the head, 1 to the head. All that stuff to get this fast time to kill. Look at the Thompson. You can go from a 224 to a 149 if you get just 1 shot to the head. And this is what people complain about. You know, people don't like this, you know. But it's a fact that if you change the multiplier to 1.2, instead of like a high value, you change it to a multiplier of 1.2. What it does then is, here we got a mock-up. It still kills relatively the same and all that stuff, but some guns don't change the time to kill at all. So like the STG, now you need all 3 shots to the head in order to get the lower time to kill. So it requires higher accuracy. Ultra Burst, now you need 2 instead of 1. The bar doesn't even matter now. Bulk, now you need 3 instead of 1. Most SMGs is now 2 instead of 1. The deep, like the MG goes from being 2 to 0. DP goes to 2. Then, like, you know, something like this. I changed the 1911 here. The 1911 should be a 2-tap to the head, but its current damage doesn't, like, see fit to that. So I basically just kept the headshot, the value the same, and just increased the actual, like, damage, you know. Doesn't change anything to the body time to kill, but it just keeps the headshot time to kill the same, you know. But something like that will work out if they do that then. Gunsmith rework. I hope they just rework the whole entire Gunsmith, you know. Change how attachments work. They, like, they have 40 days to do it. I don't think they're gonna do all of it, but I feel like if you want to make the game better, you have to rework all of the attachments, you know, change them all around. Besides some of them, I feel like the bells, magazines, and the optics should be fine, but rework everything. Even if we didn't get a chance to play test it, look at the attachment, see if the attachment needs to be changed, you know. Glide bombs, PC problem. I don't know if people realize this, but I would take my mouse, and whenever I had the glide bomb, I'd swipe. Like, I had to swipe like 50 times in order to do a 45-degree turn type of deal. It's, hopefully they change it. I think they're going to change it. If they don't, then, you know, I could just use a death machine. Audio, this is something they said that they're going to work on. They're going to rebalance the whole entire audio thing. Same thing with visibility. But audio, sometimes you could hear, like, people, sometimes you couldn't. Sometimes guns were muffled, sometimes they weren't. You know, just a whole entire audio rebalancing should work. But what I hope they don't do is increase first step audio. I think it should be increased a bit, but not Modern Warfare 2019, because in MW you could hear someone across the map with a cranked up headset. It was insane. Especially dead. Visibility, they're gonna work on that, but sometimes there's a haze effect. Prestige, I mean not Prestige, Exclusive Ace talked over this perfectly. There's a haze effect. And if they just eliminate that haze effect, it will improve visibility by a lot. Ghost with overkill. Normally, you can't, like in MW, you can't do overkill with Ghost. But the fact is, in this game, Ghost is perk 1 and overkill is perk 3. So you can do Ghost with overkill. So you can have 2 10 attachment primaries with Ghost. So that needs to be worked. Either Ghost should be perk 3 or overkill should be perk 3. Or they should both be perk 2, and then the other 2 perks in that category should be separated then. That's how I think it should be. Map spazzing out. This is something they addressed as well. A lot of times on Red Star, I walk into a B-bomb building, and it looks like the whole entire thing's into the Spider-Verse glitching out, you know, just everywhere type of deal. They said that they're addressing this. Rank on launch. And I mean by rank mode, you know, like league play and stuff like that. Hopefully we get that. If we don't, I don't really play competitive. I don't play rank. I'm just a very good player. So I can live without this. But I know for a lot of people this is gonna be something. Spawns. Especially with the squad spawning. I don't have a problem with spawns most likely, but there are times when you spawn on a teammate and you die instantly. I would rather have that than MW spawning though, but hopefully they should change it, you know, make me spawn near a teammate but not on them, you know. Like I should spawn within the general vicinity. Like say if they're there, I should spawn within like a 10-meter radius of them, but if they're being shot at, I should be like in a cover or something like that. So that way I don't spawn into them and die instantly. Kill cams, they're too slow. I mean, not too slow, they're too short. They start at a short point and then they end too early type of deal. They should change them around. Pucks rebalanced. They should change how they do, like how they react to puck category. Puck 1 should do something with puck 2 with puck 3. You know, there should be some balance there, you know. Maybe change this puck to this category or this category and all that stuff. Pucks rebalanced to be there. Like how Ghost and Overkill should be together. I feel like Piercing Vision should be with Cold-Blooded. People may not agree with that. Actually, no, not Cold-Blooded. Low Profile. It should be with Low Profile. And the reason why I say that is that way because the thing is, someone could do Piercing Vision and Low Profile normally, which means that you can't Piercing Vision them, but they can Piercing Vision you. So I feel like if you have them together, they have to shade off. If they're being Piercing Visioned, they have to change it then. But if you're being Piercing Visioned, you can do Low Profile, or you can do Piercing Vision, get them and all that stuff. You know, instead of being like, oh, I can't get pierced, but I can pierce you type of deal. I feel like something like that. Like if there's a counter to that specific puck, they should be in the same category then, in my opinion. I don't know if people would agree with me there, but I do feel like that, because that way then it creates a dilemma to where I'm doing this, but I'm also having it happen to me. So should I do this instead? Like if I have high alert, but someone also has high alert, and I don't like that because they're completely destroying me with it. I'm gonna do Cold-Blooded, but I have to get rid of my high alert for that, you know. And then if you want to have those perks together, because at the end, you know, if they're specialists, it doesn't matter. You can literally do specialists and just put those perks together. But in the end, if they want to do both at the same time, then they can just activate specialists and then at 2 kills do either high alert or Cold-Blooded then. But it should create a dilemma, you know. It's similar to how Black Ops Cold War, even though it had the Puck Greed wildcard, they had Tac Mask and Flak Jacket together. Normally, in older Call of Duties, it was Category 3 Tac Mask, Category 2 Flak Jacket. Like BO2, it was that. So it's the fact that you could be resistant to stuns and have Flak Jacket at the same time if you wanted to. In Black Ops Cold War, they're in the same category, so in order for you to do both of them, you either do Lawbreaker and make them take up 2 out of 3 of your puck slots, or you do Puck Greed. But the thing is, if you do Puck Greed, you lose out on Lawbreaker, or you lose out on Gunfighter, or lose out on Danger Clip. If you do something like that, it creates a better balance, in my opinion, because it makes you choose. Do I want Flak Jacket, or do I want Tac Mask? Do I want this, or do I want that? As I said, in the end, if you have Specialist, it doesn't matter, because you could just do Specialist and get all perks. But having that initial balance is good. You know? It's like how Overkill, you can't do Overkill with high alert and restock and all that stuff in Warzone. You have to do one or the other, unless you get the specialist bonus in Iron Trials. Last gen optimization, we talked about last gen performance. Just make it better, you know, make it smooth. If you have to tone down the graphics on it completely, do it. Muzzle flash. Muzzle flash sometimes is too big. Like sometimes you shoot a gun and just. They got rid of the distortion effect, which is nice, but I feel like they should remove some muzzle flash to clear up visibility when shooting at enemies. Before you had the distortion effect, it made them warp around all that stuff, so you couldn't really tell if you were shooting at them directly. Muzzle flash is just completely blocking them now, so you're trying to shoot at the nameplate instead. I feel like if they change muzzle flash, maybe make it a bit faster or something like that, like it dissipates faster, or doesn't like cover like the top part of the gun, it'd be better. Movement speeds, I know they're not going to do it, but I just want them to be upped slightly, you know. I feel like the thing with MW is regular speeds are slow, and when you tag sprint, that's when it becomes fast. But the thing is, IW designed tag sprinting to be a con, where if you want to be aggressive, hey, you can tag sprint, but you gotta be careful, because if you tag sprint around a corner, you're dead. That's why IW did it how they did it, because it was MW as well, especially without brutal tag sprint delay is like tag sprintify delay is. So I feel like they need to change it and change movement speeds around. I feel like they should be faster. Suppression changes. We already talked about it. It should just go or be toned down a lot. Flinch overhaul. I feel like snipers have too much flinch base-wise. Some weapons don't have a lot of flinch, so it needs to be like changed around and all that stuff, in my opinion. As well as Vanguard not giving flinch and not being a lot of flinch reducing attachments. Minimap revert. What they could do is they could change the radar perk to a different type of perk, and they could just give us the old minimap. I don't think they're gonna do it, so this is like bottom of the bucket list. But if they do it, thank you, Sledgehammer. Thank you if you do it. Revise the gunsmith. This is what I like to see in the future. Revise the gunsmith. More does not equal better customization, because it's the fact that we have 9 muzzles, but 6 of them do the same thing. So you just pick the one you want in the end. Like you pick the one that gives the better stats. You know, gives the better stats, do the less performance, like do the less cons. Well, I feel like they could do, and this is gonna be my biggest. This is gonna be my biggest like feedback and stuff like that. What I feel like they could do is they could change how the gunsmith works. They have the same gunsmith system, but do it differently. And this is gonna be like creative class as well. But for muzzles, have 4 different muzzles, a silencer, and 3 different ones that do recoil. The silencer increases range, increases bullet velocity, but it cons something else. You know, let's say it cons ADS time or sprintify time or something like that. I'm just throwing out ideas, you know. Then we got a muzzle brake, which cons vertical recoil, so it bounces up more, but it boosts like horizontal control, so it shrinks that bounce a bit more, you know. So you do muzzle brake, and even though it cons upwards, it becomes shorter. So let's say you're using a weapon that bounces a lot but doesn't go up high, you can do muzzle brake then. Then you got a compensator type one, where it cons horizontal, so it bounces a bit more, but it controls vertical. So let's say you don't have a lot of bounce, but it goes up high. Like let's say you have the AS valve. AS valve just goes to the moon, but it doesn't really have a lot of bounce. You can do compensator then. So it lowers that down, gives it a bit of a bounce, but it's not a lot, you know. And then you have a 4th attachment that gives you both types of recoil control, so it does vertical and horizontal, but it does that at low. Like let's say it does that at a lower value. So let's say like muzzle brake and compensator, they give you plus 5% control. Well, these two, like this one, will give plus 2.5% for both the same. But it has more of a con, you know. To say it cons ADS time and split-to-fire time, or it cons like muzzle flash, you know, like gives more muzzle flash, or something like, you know, make it to where you have like fewer, because if you have fewer attachments, you think more clearly on what you want them to do. Barrels, there should be 3 or 4 barrels in my opinion. One barrel that is longer increases range, increases bullet velocity, increases recoil control, but it cons movement speed, ADS movement speed, and ADS time, like ADS speed. Then you have a short barrel that increases movement speed, increases ADS time, increases ADS movement speed, and increases sprint fire time, but decreases recoil, range. Like, you see what I mean? If you have fewer, you can think more. The thing is, MW, they had it to some attachments, like some categories, like the barrels, the stocks, there were fewer there, so they thought more of what they wanted to do, but they had too much muzzles, too many grips, or like underbarrels, too many rear, well not too many rear, this is not Vanguard, but they had too many of like certain categories, so that way they just did whatever they want with it. But the thing is, if you make it more, like if you lower the amount of attachments in a category, you think more clearly on what you want them to be. And I feel like that's the way to go, because we don't want, when we want more customization, we don't want 80, 90, 100 attachments. We want 30 to 40 attachments, each with their own individual role, not 5, 6 different attachments that do the same thing. You just want unique attachments. And I feel like if they find that balance, it'd be great. On top of that, Crate class, I feel like giving us just 5 attachments, 10 attachments right up is not good. I feel like Pick 10 should come back, but in a different way. It's weird to think about, but what I think they should do is they should do a Pick 13 system. Similar to AW, but not including kill streaks in there. What I think they should do is you have your weapon attachment. Okay, so you have your gun, you have your primary. You do your primary, that's 1 point. You do 3 attachments, that's 3 extra points. So you got 4 points. If you want to add an extra attachment, that's 2 points extra. So at that point, if you want a 4th, 5th, 6th attachment, it's 2 points extra for each attachment. So that way, if you want to do a max out primary build, it would be quick math real quick. It would be for 7 attachments. It would be a primary with 7 attachments then. Plus 1 extra point remaining, so then you can do whatever you want, like you can do a perk or a lethal or something like that. But let's say you don't want to, like, let's say you just want to stick to 3. You know, that way then you only use 4 points, you got 9 points left over. You can do secondary, you could do some perks, stuff like that. And you could have it to where, like, let's say specialist, if you want to do specialist, that takes up a point, you know, it doesn't take up 3 points. Let's say it just takes up 1. So that way it doesn't be too much of like a con, you know. Like, everything takes up a point, but if you do multiple attachments on a weapon, that's when it becomes more pricey. Like how it was back then. Back then, you had wild cards. And if you wanted to have a 3rd base attachment, or 4th, or 5th, you had to do primary gunfight of 1, 2, 3. And that would be an extra 3 points for an extra 3 attachments. Which that would be 6 points then. So I feel like if they did something like that, it would be better, you know, like a Pick 13 system. Either I could max out my weapon, I could do a mixture of like maxing it out and all that stuff. Something that can give you choice, you know, like let's say this is the all-around meta build, like let's say this weapon with a barrel, a muzzle, a sight, magazine, and grip is the meta build. But let's say you don't want to max it out, you can pick what you want. I want a barrel with a muzzle with a sight, or a barrel with a mag, with a grip, with a stock. You can be more creative with what you want to do. You can decide more what you want to do. So I feel like they have a pick 13 system, like something similar to a pick 10 at least. It'd be better for the game. Revised time to kill. I feel like with how the time to kill is currently, if they just lower it by like an extra bullet, it'd be a good time to kill. I know a lot of people don't see that, but like it is what, like, if you have a super fast time to kill, it leads to not a lot of people reacting to, leading to people sitting on corners to have that advantage. The thing is, in MW, the time to kill is so fast that if you played hardcore to MW, there's like no difference between time to kill for most guns. So it's the fact that with that, so like, and in hardcore, people sit in corners and stuff more because they don't want to die, because they die in one bullet. If you have a fast time to kill like Modern Warfare, people are more likely to sit in corners more because that's how they are. I die instantly if I move out. I'm gonna sit in this corner, kill this guy because he moved out and he died. If you have a slower time to kill, it incentivizes people to push because then they can react fast enough to get a kill if they're being shot at. Well, it does lead to the point where if you do have a weapon that kills super fast, it's going to be meta. So I feel like if they balance it properly, slow time to kill would be the way to go. Uniqueness in games. I talked about this with the World War II skin MW 2019. I just want, at least like UI, like I don't care about like if tax print remains, all that stuff. I just want like the games to look different, not feel different, but look different. System mechanics gone, doors, mounting, blind fire, those things, they don't belong in Call of Duty. No offense to the developers who thought of these and wanted to implement them to try them out. They were a good test one, but I feel like in core multiplayer, they don't exist. I feel like they should be a campaign in third mode, like Spec Ops type of thing. In multiplayer, it just slows the gameplay down by a lot. Or they have no use, like blind fire. More arcade style color palette. Call of Duty at the end of the day is an arcade shooter. It's not Rainbow Six, it's not Battlefield, it's an arcade shooter. This is mainly towards IW, because Treyarch and Sledgehammer, they do their color palettes better, but a more vibrance in their color palette is the way to go, because it makes colors pop out more. If you have a real gritty grayscale color palette like Modern Warfare 2019, people blend into things more. Like this wall, even though this wall could be green colored, people wearing like an all-out black kind of cover op type of skin, they can blend into that green wall better than if you were in a Treyarch game with that same wall, because of how the color palette is and how colors just pop between each other. More grinds outside of levels, calling cards, camos. From what I hear, we're getting a lot of grinding potential. Like, we got clans, we're getting some other things from leaks and rumors, all that stuff. So I'm not too worried about the grinding, but I feel like we should have more grinds, Things back then in Call of Duty, we had Prestige Master, if you wanted to go to there. We had calling cards, we had the camos, but then we had some other things. Like if you wanted to grind ranked play, you could do that. If you wanted to do this, you could do that, all that stuff. I feel like we should have a bit more of a grind potential, and I feel like we're getting that too. We got clan grinds. We can have clans and they share XP and all that stuff. And so I feel like how Vanguard's going, Vanguard feels like the way to go. I'm gonna go over why I say that later. Ways to earn towards bundles and store. They're kinda doing that already, but it could be improved. What I mean by that is, give us a secondary currency, Like, let's say this bundle is 2,400 card points, but with this secondary currency is to say 24,000, you know, so it's an extra 10 times. What we could do is we could grind this currency out in game, and it's not going to be an easy currency. Let's say it's like the army credits, where you can only get, like, depending on how you play around, like as low as 500 to as most as 1,000 a day. Once you get enough credits or like that secondary currency, you could redeem a bundle. Then people will be like, oh, it's gonna make them lose money, but the thing is, people don't realize that there's going to be others out there that see something they want instantly, they're gonna buy it, because chances are by the time they get the currency, it's not gonna be in the store. While with the currency, it gives us a chance to get the stuff. They're kind of doing it already with recently with the Oktoberfest thing. Some bundles have us earning card points. It's not a lot, it's only 300, 400 card points for a 2,400 bundle. But it's the fact that we can get 8 of these bundles, and then we can just redeem a free one. Then, you know, do something similar like that, you know, but more card points. Like, let's say I redeem this 1,400 card point bundle, I get 1,200 back. Then, you know, something like that. Map voting returns. It was in Cold War. They removed it, you know, in Vanguard because of combat pacing. I feel like they should stick it to like a 6v6, 12v12, 24v24 combat pacing and add map voting back. I don't think we're gonna get lobbies sticking together again because of how the SPMM is, sadly. So yeah. Traditional prestige along season levels, I never really prestiged. I know a lot of people do, so for the people that want that grind, they can have it then. And there is a way to do it, you know. The thing is, you can have the traditional prestige at launch, you know, the 55 and prestiging levels. Then when seasons launch, you can have however many levels, like 200, 300 levels, and it's a fixed amount of XP per level, and the XP you earn towards your prestige level goes to the season level as well. So let's say I earned 30k in this S&D match, because that is realistic, actually. If you earn 30k in this S&D match, it goes to your overall rank level, but then it goes to your season level. And then what they can do is with the season level, they have seasonal challenges, kind of like how Black Ops Cold War has it. It'd be a rank that people can't see, but only you can see. You could be like, oh, I'm level 200 out of 300. I need to get 100 more levels so I can do these last 10 challenges for this season master challenge. You know, it gives more of a grind. Classic minimap returns, same thing. Black Ops Cold War had it, removed in Vanguard. I just want it back, you know. I don't want to use a perk and respawn for it. Good ranked mode at launch, something like League Play or World War II ranked. Something to give that community something they want, you know. Because when League Play came in Black Ops Cold War, people did not like it because of how it was and how it was inconsistent. This is the thing. I'm top 0% on leaderboards in MW and Black Ops Cold War. Yeah, when I did my placement matches, I only lost one game in League Play, by the way. I did all my placement matches, lost one game. Apparently, I'm top 50%. So, you know, and it's not that I had bad KDs on. Like, I had 2 3.0 KDs in my games. I had around a 200, 300, 400 SPM, well, not SPM, SPM score per minute. So it's the fact that that happened. So it's just inconsistent. This is something I don't think is gonna happen, but it'd be very cool to see. Pro perks in some form. It added an extra grind element. You know, back then in BO1, MW2, MW3, I think, as well, you had pro perks, and the thing is, what you can do is got the perk and does something base-wise. Like, let's say cold-blooded keeps your name off of enemies when they look at you. But then you had like 5 to 10 challenges for that perk, and when you complete all the challenges, you get the pro version of it. And cold-blooded pro in like MW, like in MW2, kept you off the heartbeat sensor then. Or Ninja, you know, you had quieter footsteps and then something else on top of that. It gave a more grind effort for a good reward, and it tells you if you have a pro perk. Like if someone has a pro perk in the game, it tells you that person grinded. That person has an extra element. I see that extra element. I want to play, and it actually looks good for Activision as well, because then it gets their numbers up. You know, if someone sees a pro perk that they want because it does this that they want, they're gonna grind for it, and Activision's gonna see those numbers for that player retention just go up then. So at the end, it's like a win-win. You know, it gives an extra grind, it gives an extra replay value to it, and as well, it looks good on Activision's numbers. I don't think it's gonna come back though with how Gunsmith is and all that stuff, and how Warzone integration is. But hopefully after Warzone, you know, is over, that trend's over, and we go back to normal MP, we see it come back. Well, that's it for my feedback. You know, I'm looking at my recording right now. Most likely it's not going to be it. But an hour and 30 minutes. It could have been shorter. It could have been like that. But I wanted to try and describe things better. You know, I don't want to go over last gen performance needs better. It needs to be better. Normal minimap needs to be default. Like, I didn't want to go over like that. You know, I wanted to try to describe certain things. So the fact that right now my recording's an hour and 30, chances are it's gonna be like an hour and 20, an hour 10, because I had other things in the background as well. But yeah, this is my feedback though. I don't think people at Sledgehammer is gonna see this, especially it being an hour. I don't think a lot of people are gonna watch it fully, but I figure I just get my feedback out there just in case, you know, I get that one soul, that one person at Sledgehammer that sees this. Sends over to the team, they see it, they take it down, all that stuff. Like they write down the information, all that stuff. Something to get out there. I'm gonna be doing this more with Call of Duties. After Black Ops Cold War ends with Season 6, I'm gonna go over what the game did right, what the game did wrong, all that stuff, and what it could have improved upon. And yeah, just this is my feedback. Gonna be doing something like this going forward. I'm going to try to do less gameplay. Actually, I'm going to keep gameplay, but I'm going to do more of these type of videos, more commentaries. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this. I'll see you guys in my next video, whenever that is. Hopefully next Wednesday. You know, I'm trying to do Wednesday uploads with shorts every other day type of video, like Monday, Friday. Hopefully get the shorts every day. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time.